So in conclusion, is making a web game easy? No, it's not. In fact, it just has different types of problems. It's been a lot of fun, and we don't regret anything that we've done, but there has been a lot of surprises along the way that we've had to deal with, and a lot of pleasant ones too. So it's been quite a wild ride. It is a huge opportunity. This space didn't exist in North America 18 months ago. And now you've got the big players now like Activision, EA, and Sony are coming online and making web games. BioWare has made a web game recently for Dragon Age, for example. Everyone is jumping on this bandwagon, and it is a huge crest of a wave that's growing and growing and growing. We've learned a lot of lessons, and we're going to continue to learn a lot of lessons, we feel, based on what we've learned. So what's next for Junk Battles? Well, this is a screenshot of one of our zones, one of our little nations in our post-apocalyptic world. We're going to have a world map system. But what that means we're also going to have quests. So you will have contract jobs to be able to go around and do certain different things. That also means we're going to have a story. And this is something that, as a classic RPG guy, I'm really, really excited about. We're going to have characters, we're going to have a whole flourishing story that are going to intertwine with the quest, and it's going to immerse yourself. We're hoping like no other web game can. Another really exciting thing that we're going to throw in is part modifications. Because as you go and you collect parts, those right now are pretty much the same type of parts that everyone else can get. However, if you start picking a particular style of play, you can now start to tweak the parts in just the way that you see fit. Therefore, customizing and personalizing the parts that you have makes them a lot more valuable for you. And lots of other stuff, which we have some ideas, and some of them we are open. We're open to hearing on how things go, and how things and what we see trends and things like that. Just as long as everything sticks to the same vision. So the future looks bright. We're quite happy with the way that Junk Battles is going, and we are looking forward to putting out even more and more content and being able to expand our user base, and hopefully have all of you guys go out and try it out if you haven't done that before. So in conclusion, I'd like to just say that we do have Junk Battles in the game zone and also at our booth, so please feel free and go ahead and try it out. I'd like to thank you guys for letting me talk in front of you guys for an hour, and I'd also like to thank my staff, my awesome programmers who have done such a fantastic job, and our artists as well, working on Junk Battles. So there up here is my email if you have any questions. I will be available for questions after the show and right after now. And if you want to hear more of my rantings and ramblings about programming, feel free to log on my Twitter and see what I have to say. I'll open it up to questions.
Can you speak to the lifespan of web games like Junk Battles? They're free, but you also, I think you mentioned the additions you have planned and whatnot.
That's right. Sorry, to speak about them in...
Can you tell us about how the lifespan of a web game like Junk Battles works?
Okay, I see. Well, really the main purpose of a game like this, like we obviously want to have the game last as long as possible. And what we hope to provide is a continuing, evolving experience of the game, of how people who understand and get the concept and enjoy the setting, they will stick around, and as the game progresses and they enjoy playing the game with both against enemy opponents and as well people in the game themselves, other human players, then they'll build relationships, very much how World of Warcraft, for example. A lot of people who join World of Warcraft for the first time do it just for the sake of playing by themselves. But lo and behold, weeks if not months later, they're having raid parties, you know, they're hanging out on forums, and you know, years even go by, and they're still playing the game. We're hoping to have the same sort of experience for junk battles.
I personally noticed that a lot of these web-based games lend themselves well to portable gaming platforms, such as the Nintendo DS and PlayStation Portable.
Yep.
Are there any plans to bring junk battles or any of the future web development projects to those platforms, maybe through DSiWare or PlayStation Network?
It's an excellent question. And the reason why I chuckled there was because originally, when one of the things that we were thinking of doing was we wanted to bring junk battles foremost to the iPhone. And everyone at the time, around that time frame, about last year in the summer, iPhone was like the hottest thing. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone thought they were going to make $1 million in a weekend. And you know, we were the same. So we were talking about it and seeing how could we make a game that would fit on the iPhone. And as we started to start steering away from like the traditional web-based games, we realized that the interface for the iPhone was a little tricky. So we ended up sort of shelving that idea. However, that doesn't mean that we're not going to look at it again. And you mentioned the DS, because the DS is an excellent platform, and we do have experience at Antic developing on the DS. And the intention here is not only to just make a game, but to also build a brand. We want to take junk battles eventually to Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation 3, Nintendo DS, whatever makes sense at that particular time that we feel we're ready to make the jump. So we definitely aren't closing any doors.
You mentioned that the game was free. Is there any way that you're going to be able to make any revenue off of this? Or?
You know what, it's funny that you mentioned that, because as you mentioned that, I basically didn't talk at all about monetization. Zero. So I'll have a quick chat about that. The game is 100% free to play. However, there is a portion of the parts that exist in the game that are only available if you put money in. So the intention is that sure, you can have pretty much the same experience enjoying the game being a free-to-play guy, but if you want to have that really cool part that does this and that, and you know what, it would be a great complement to your craft, well, you can go to the auction, purchase it outright, or buy a pack of parts. Very much like customizable card games that exist right now, like Magic the Gathering and ones like that, where you go and you purchase a pack of these parts, and then you get random premium parts that you can then apply to your craft. So that's sort of currently our main revenue model at the moment. But given the fact that we are expanding the way that the feature set of the game, we are going to be looking at other methods of revenue and microtransactions as well. Any other questions?
I was wondering what the future of Antic themselves is holding for games. Are they going to be focused more on web-based games like Battles, or are they going to be trying to veer towards console games like you were mentioning, porting Battles to Xbox?
Well, for the time being, I would say that our primary focus is web games, because we're essentially all in with junk battles, and we want it to succeed as much as possible. So we want to take those lessons that we've learned and be able to leverage that in future web games as well. But at the same time, we don't want to forget our roots. We want to take that knowledge that we have, the experience that we have, and those connections that we have with the regular, traditional game industry per se, and leave those doors open to be able to do other projects and other products as well. All right, I think that's it. Well, thank you very much for listening.